I just like you to show that you give a damn, that you got a little emotion about the fact that people are losing their jobs indiscriminately, that this individual sitting down the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has given absolute power to one man who brings his son into the Oval Office, whose son says to him, "You're not the president. You shouldn't be in that chair." Now, where did he get that from? He got it from his daddy, because that's what his daddy thinks of the man who brought him into the Oval Office. So I just like to see somebody wake the hell up and get excited about the fact that your country is under assault. They're not at the gate anymore. They're in your bedrooms. They're in your living rooms. They're in your businesses. They got your data, dumbass. They got all your stuff. Elon Musk has his tentacles in everything you're doing, not just off of X, but now he's in the Treasury Department. He's in the Labor Department. He's in the Department of Homeland Security. And nobody seems to give a damn. So that's all I want, somebody to show that they care enough to get off their fat ass and say something about it.
What would you have us do?
That was a video that I shared earlier today. I tried to get it right, but it didn't come out. Technology is just passing me by as I get older, and I shared it with Byron. I said, Byron, man, I just made a big mistake. I said, I went out there, I was so geared up and uplifted by the video that Pastor Riggins had shared to me, and I tried to tell Byron about it, and I was telling him at the same time. And you know what my partner in crime said? He said, "You know what, Ron? Let's just do it and correct it. Don't worry about it." He gave me a time, and I still didn't make the time. And he still said, "Ron, don't worry about it. We're gonna go ahead and get it in." So we're right here, Byron. This is where we're at. You heard the video, and we're gonna kind of break this down while we're here. But Byron, just tell me your first thoughts on hearing the video, because I know you told me you heard it earlier today.
Well, Ron, I think now's the time to either stand up or stand down. And I have not agreed with my brother Steele on a lot of things, but I think he's a good guy. I think he's an honest guy. We just happen to have two different paths to get to some of the solutions that we see here in this particular place where we call home. In spite of all that, Ron, I agree with Brother Steele here now. It comes a time when you have to challenge the norm. You have to challenge something that you have always agreed with, the balanced part of your life. And I think what he's saying is this. You know, I still have the conservative principles. I think he's saying I still believe in GOP, aka Grand Old Party. I still believe in the philosophies that we have enacted over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But I think, Ron, based on that, he is saying now that based on the individual that's in office, it's not even about the policy. It's not even about the politics. It's about saving the future of what we have known as the United States of America. And of course, you and I know we share different political views, different aspirations, or whatever the case may be. But when the smoke is clear, Ron, and the dust is settled, anytime that we all need to get on the same bandwagon and move toward the same common goal, we do that. So I think Mike is saying that we're not tolerating this any longer. I'm not going to be one of the ones that sit back idle and not say anything when I see the train going off the track. I think what he's doing is trying to challenge some of his other colleagues, or many of his other colleagues who happen to be good, but we just disagree on principle. I think what he's saying now is either run now or never. And if you choose never, whatever you want to call it, the blood on your hand, it's on you. If you choose now, then you have the opportunity to save the train from going off the track. And you save this great old country from being what some think it could be. I agree with him, Ron. I know you was excited about this, so I'm gonna kind of digress and give it to you and let you give your perspective on it.
Glass, I'll tell you this, and I've said this in the past, and I'm gonna go back to it till I hear different. As Democrats, we're late to the party. We've been late to the party. That's been our past history. That's mantra. Let's just say mantra, because we've been doing it over and over and over again, and we take away the selection process for our president or anything. What we end up doing is I'm gonna say it like I say it all the time, force fed. Either you vote for this candidate. If you don't vote for this candidate, we're gonna lose the election. And you can't continue to have that as a mantra out there, and you can't continue to use that as an excuse for losing the election. The reason why we lost that election is because we didn't get off our ass and vote. For one thing, the people that got out and voted, they were discouraged because the outcome didn't come out. But we didn't take enough people to the poll with us to change the outcome. And here's the thing. And I want to touch on this because you made mention of it. I ain't always agreed with what the brother said. I ain't always following him like he was speaking gospel. But today, we on the same page. Today, mentally, we're connecting. Today, you could be the president of the Democrat. You should be the nomination for the Democratic Party because you put more action and words out there today than they have in I don't know how long. I can't even think back to the time where a person spoke as he did just then. And I want to kind of break this down because I don't think people understood exactly what he was saying. So I'm gonna put it back on you and let you have your comments, and then we're gonna start breaking this down, and we're gonna get out of here quickly, hopefully.
Well, Ron, you said something that it's kind of thought provoking to me. I think for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've talked about the Democratic Party being behind the 8 ball. They don't have a message, so forth and so on. Well, it's sad to say, Ron, that this particular gentleman right here has enough courage, has the audacity, and has the will and the desire to point out all the wrong that's going on. And his message is real clear. It's loud and clear. As a matter of fact, it's so clear that you and I are actually talking about it. And this is a good thing about it, Ron. Like you said, we don't always have to agree with any one individual person. But when it's time to agree, no matter what side of the fence you come on, it's time for you to step up, stand up, and get involved in the game. And that's what we're doing now. I'll agree with everything Steele is saying. And there's not a whole lot that, Ron, we really disagree on. It's just the fact that my principles with regards to how we should do things to save this side of the fence versus how his principles based on how he feels that you should do to save it on that side of it. And that's what you call, principles. We have some values that we both come up in a different rank. But at the end of the day, Ron, the goal is to save and help as many people as we can. And this guy, I think his message is loud. I think his message is clear. And I think, like you just said, maybe we need to, and when I say we, I'm not talking about Democrats. We're not Democrats, but maybe we need to kind of pull this guy out. He ran for president before, it wasn't successful, but his message is loud and clear. And believe it or not, Ron, I think a lot of people from his side of the aisle, they agree with him 100%, but they just, for whatever reason, afraid to say it.
And before we go any further, I want to say this message, if you listen to our last podcast, will reach the Joshes. This message will transcend. But see, what will end up happening is we get caught up in the words of what he's saying. And then we want to criticize the words of what he's saying. But you don't criticize the other side. Because I done heard some vulgar stuff come out of his mouth that I wouldn't even care to repeat at any time. But he said it, his host was on there, and you saw the reaction. We're gonna play it out in just a minute. We definitely gonna play it out because we have to. Because this thing is bigger than us. And as Glass said, we may not be Democrats. We may not be Republicans. We may be independents because we want to pick and choose who we want.
Right.
But here's my challenge. Here's my challenge to everybody that's out there. Share this post. Wake up your Democratic Party. Wake up your members. Let them know that you're thinking, that you're aware of what's going on or what has happened in the past. Share this post and see how many weeks it takes them to come out with an effective plan. Because if they figure out that you're jumping behind Michael Steele, I guarantee you the wheels are turning right now behind the scenes. That backdoor action is slowly gonna come through the front door. No, we ain't going that way. We going this way. We don't want to let them get too far away from us. We need to reel them back in. We just had Kamala Harris go through the same thing. No, they getting out there early. We got to do something about it. I want them to be pressured. I want them, and I said it earlier, I want them to have that ring in their nose that we're leading the party this time. Us, the people. You're not going to jump out there at the last minute. We're going to get out there early. We're going to put our candidate out there. If you want him, you want him. If you don't, we're going to keep on moving. We're going to move in this direction. And that's just my personal opinion. So, Glass, I hear you. I see you. I'm going to yield.
Well, no, Ron, the irony is we talked about this all of November, all of December, all of January, and still talking about it in February. There is still not one person out there with a counter message to what's being said on a daily basis, 24/7, 365, late at night, early in the morning, on Twitter and all these other social media. So when you look at what people are hearing, Ron, there's no opposition message to what's being said. So I gotta go with Steele because I agree with it. And see, Ron, I think that's the mistake that we make all the time, because this person happens to be from the other side of town, or perhaps this person may be from the other side of the aisle. That's what you call stinking thinking, man. If a person has got an idea and it resonates with me, they can be from whatever party. Hey, look, that's how you move forward. Team building is when everybody agrees on something that we can agree on to move forward. But we have all these selfish motivation, all of these other characteristics that are unbecoming of leadership. And I just think right now, Steele is the loudest voice that's out there, whether it's black, white, young, old, rich, or poor. He is the loudest voice out there, and he's making a conscious effort to enlighten and inform the people that what we're dealing with is not something that we should basically be dealing with. So at the end of the day, when the smoke is clear and the dust is settled, I always say this, it's either we're going to win or we're going to continue to lose. But I can bet you this, Ron, we're already behind 4 years. If we can't do nothing in the next 2 years with the House or some of the Senate seats, what you now know as this free will society, it's going to be hell to pay, homeboy.
It is. And here's the other part of what you just got through saying. We haven't heard the message. There's silence out there. I said this earlier and I'm going to say it again. If you remember, when we was taking Biden down, when Biden was coming down slowly, and then when the media started crucifying him, when he made his selection as the next president, when he made his selection as the next president, that backdoor crew was hid out because they had a plan, but Biden took them out of their plan. I need you to hear me. Biden took them out of their plan. And so when we got who we got, we had to jump on board. And eventually they had to jump on board. So I'm looking for the same thing that happened right now, today, as we heard this man speak to everything that's going on within our community, within your community. He just spoke it as plain as he possibly could. And I want to see how many people get what he's saying. Get what he's saying and move on.
Well, Ron, I think it should be an understandable message that if you see something wrong, you speak out about it. If you see something wrong and you don't speak out about it, then you're a part of the guilt or you're a part of the problem. What we do is speak on issues from regardless as to what side is it. We try to bring balance. We know right now that what's going on and what's taking place, inside of Washington, D.C. An older gentleman and I were talking earlier today, and his issue was, all of this stuff that's going on is number one, it's absolutely unnecessary. It's absolutely confusing. It's absolutely orchestrated, and it's intentional. Well, when you're doing all of those things, if you're intentionally poking somebody in the side, that means you want to hurt them. If you're intentionally confusing somebody, that means you want to distort the message and or divide whatever it is that you're trying to conquer. So for anybody that may be listening, for anybody that may feel like they can sit on the sideline, well, if you sit on the sideline too much longer, then it may not even be a sideline that you can sit on without approval. Okay, if you sit on the sideline too much longer, the game that you're trying to play, you may have to ask to play. So while you have a little freedom and flexibility, what Michael Steele is saying is this: y'all see this going on right in front of your eyes, and you're not saying anything. We have example after example after example from other countries that have gone through this same type of information or influx that we're dealing with now. They didn't say nothing. So what they're doing is now, Ron, from what I'm seeing and listening to, is that we've set an example and shown people what can happen when you say nothing or when you say less. And when you say nothing or say less, you end up being exactly the way we are. So what's wrong with you, America? What's wrong with those who supposed to have a strong standing with regards to politics? I'm seeing the Democrats flip-flop. Nobody's coming out. Schumer's saying one thing, Jeffries is saying another thing, but at the same token, the other side is pushing their message, steady pushing like a bulldozer, and all they're doing is pushing it right down your throat. So when you do jump in the game, the message that you're trying to display, ain't nobody going to want to hear. So Michael Steele, props out to him for what he's trying to do with regards to his message.
Absolutely. Here's something else I want to make this analogy real quick. Then we'll get where we're going. Glass say something about a game. It doesn't matter what game that you're playing. If you're sitting on the end of the bench and you ain't paying attention to what's going on the field, you ain't paying attention to what's going on in the field, and somebody get hurt out there or something happen where they have to bring you into the game, just say everybody fouled out. If you ain't paying attention to what's going on, you just as lost as everybody out there. What we're asking you to do here tonight is just pay attention to what's going on in our government. Just pay attention to who's got the ball. Pay attention to who's moving, who's going in a direction. Because our young people are telling us, like Josh the other night, y'all don't have no direction. I can't follow you. I don't even see where you're going. I gave you the ball. You had the ball. You didn't even try to throw a pass or nothing. You just stood there with the ball. And that's where they at, Glass. I don't and anybody that disagree with me, I want you to do a personal poll. I want you to ask somebody next time you sitting at a restaurant, sitting at a bar or something, somebody right next to you. I don't care about the color, creed, whatever else that they got going on. Ask them. How did you feel about the Super Bowl? Halftime. And see how they respond. Take your own personal poll out in your community. And just see, because I did that one time, and I was surprised by the answer. But they was about my age too, so it wasn't that much of a surprise, but it kind of intrigued me on the answer that I got. We have to start doing those small things and making a difference. We have to do those things to see a difference, a different outcome. And Byron, I know we can go. So you tell me when after you make your comment, I'm gonna go ahead and go into that.
Well, yeah. I think if the understanding is that there's a certain agenda being pushed, absolutely wrong. If you feel that there's a certain agenda being pushed, absolutely right. And here's what I mean. There's an agenda pushed, just like you said, get involved, become proactive, listen to what's going on, and then go and do your research to see if it's right or wrong. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, today, Ron, the same guy, and he was telling me about the what is it? I may be pronounced it wrong, so charges to the head and not taught. Oshkal Indians or whatever it is. How they used to own a lot of land and this, that, and that. This white guy. And how the people came in and took away the land from the Indians, took all their natural resources, took them off and moved them from one place to the other. And, you know, he said, Ron, you know, it was absolutely wrong then, and it's absolutely wrong now. You take Ukraine, who was sitting there idle, pretty much like Gaza, Palestinians fighting with rocks and whatever. I'm not talking about Hamas, I'm talking about Palestinians themselves. You know, and you come in and you take over, you know, everything, just like Ukraine now. And you're going to get out here and put these talking points with a man or with the country that we haven't agreed with since Ronald Reagan was in, when Gorbachev was in, when they, tore down the Berlin Wall. But all of a sudden now, we're flipping the script and we're saying that Ukraine was the aggressor. We're flipping the script and saying that Ukraine, Zelensky is a dictator. Come on, man, Ron. Michael Steele, we on this team right now, bro, because he's saying everything that needs to be said, and I hadn't seen none of the DEMS, OCRATS saying nothing. If I have, tell me what's it. Tell me why I missed it.
You didn't miss anything. We're going with the liberal media, so to speak. But I want to touch bases on something that you said, and I don't want to talk about it tonight because it's going to touch a lot of people. But I want to get them prepared for what I'm about to say right now, because it's bigger than it's bigger than us. You know, you spoke about the Indians, and we get this story from Columbus talking about the Indians and how he discovered America, and we get caught up in some more stuff, but I'm not going to go into any details right now. But I will tell you this, and challenge me on one of these shows one time to come out with the information. It was a lot of people here that looked like us when Columbus got here. Already here. In America. And if you don't believe me, you can go back and do your research and realize there was a lot of us here that was already here. And I'm going to leave that, that's just food for thought for another day.
And Ron, the only thing you're telling them to do, not pushing an agenda, is dig deeper than the surface. Dig deeper than what mainstream media, want you to know or want you to be aware of. Dig deeper so you can discover whatever information it is that's out there, so you can make a conscious decision. And then whatever side of the fence you land up on, so be it.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you cleaned it up. See, Byron wears suit coats and ties. So if I get out there and make a mistake, I got a partner out there on Two Gents called Byron Glass. He'll come back and put it in your language.
What we do is we take this serious. Number one, we try to compliment each other. We disagree, but we also agree. We try to talk about things that we feel are important in little mainstream society, in our neighborhood, the people that we represent, the people that we go to church with, the people that we frequent with. Again, if anybody from any side of the aisle, Ron, come up with a plan that's good, that I think is beneficial or advantageous to the people that I serve, I'm with them 100%. There's no party, Democrat or Republican, that's going to dictate to me what my feelings and what my stance should be. And that's why I felt 8, 10, well, however many years ago, to get out of any party and just be my own self. So when I see somebody that's doing something that's beneficial, I'm going to step aside and I'm going to support them. I'm going to try to move the ball forward, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is, hey, we're trying to make a touchdown. We're not trying to stay on the 50-yard line the whole entire game and never move the ball and score a touchdown. So I think we have a lot of counterproductive messages. We have no message. We have a lot of misinformation. We have no information. And at the end of the day, again, where is the Democratic Party? other than in the conference rooms arguing about the votes. It's counterproductive.
It is, and we're going to continue to discuss it. But I will say this: if a man was sitting on the corner, he was a bum, and he delivered the message that Michael Steele just delivered in what you heard, I would listen to him because he's. I can't look at his condition and his location and where he's coming from. I can only listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth. And Michael Steele made it clear for everybody that's out there. Right. He couldn't have made it no clearer. So with that being said, we're gonna get into this thing, and I hope this technology works with us. I tried it earlier, and I'm just gonna pause it a little bit. So here we go.
I'd just like you to show that you give a damn.
You hear that, Glass?
Yes, sir.
He said, I want you to show that you give a damn about what's going on. Too many of us don't give a damn. I couldn't even get past that.
But Ron, if you can, in its entirety, just let him, because we're not speaking for him. We're letting you hear what he said, just in case you didn't hear.
And that's and then I'm voicing my opinion on what he says, because I think that what happens is that we get too twisted. We all not hearing the same thing, so we need to break it down. So I'm gonna let a little bit more play, and I'm gonna push that pause button since it's working while it's working.
That you got a little emotion about the fact that people are losing their jobs indiscriminately. That this.
Look at that face, Glass. She had a loss.
Yeah, because he telling the truth, and she probably can't believe that he's saying this on national television.
Yeah, and she ain't gonna lose her job. Right. She only, if you notice the whole song, neither one of them wants to engage with him because he's telling the truth. And that's the way, if you look at it, that's the way Donald Trump is acting too. You know, when Donald Trump say something crazy, don't nobody engage with him. So, hey, I ain't got no problem with it. So we're going to move on a little bit further.
Yeah.
This individual sitting down the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has given absolute power.
Look at the sister. Lost. Want to keep that job, want to pay them bills, want to pay that light and water bill, you know. They got to do it. So they got to keep their quiet. They got to be quiet. Or else they'll lose it, because they know if they open their mouth and they get into the commentary of what he's saying, somebody within that media is going to shut them down. They can't do that here, Glass.
Right.
So we're going to go a little bit further. Hey, John, how you doing? I see you out there. I just want to recognize that you're out there. We're going to take this one step further.
To one man who brings his son into the Oval Office, whose son says to him, "You're not the president. You shouldn't be in that chair."
Now, Ron, I want to touch on that. Now, you know, kids are innocent but 100% honest, and in order for this kid to say what he said, he had to have heard it from his dad. So his daddy may be using whatever it is that he can to maneuver and get inside of where he's at. But at the end of the day, there's something going on that we're not aware of, because remember, we've said it before and I'll say it again. Everybody else been playing checkers. These folks been playing chess.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna comment on that because I'm putting my king piece on the table. My king piece is Michael Steele. I'm sorry, my king piece is Michael Steele. That's what I don't care what nobody says at this. Well, I do care what you say, because I have to. I'm trying to get neutral, but I can't get neutral in this one, Byron. So we're gonna move a little bit further. But I will say this before I play the next one. How many of us that say something in front of our kids and they repeat it at the wrong time?
Well, Ron, perfect example. You instead of say shit to 1.5 or 2-year-old kid, what they gonna do? Eventually, they're gonna repeat what you're saying. So everything starts at home. Again, people are overlooking the fact that this little kid got on there and said this, but nobody's questioning. You know, I don't understand these media people. It seems like they just let them say what they want to say. They don't contest them. They don't try them. They don't give them any pushback. It's whatever they say. Oh, they move on to the next. They never try to question them in depth about what it is that's being said.
Lights, water, and electric bills. That's all they're worried about. And where the next restaurant that they're going to. So we're going to move on from there.
Now, where did he get that from? He got it from his daddy. Because that's what his daddy thinks of the man who brought him into the Oval Office. So I just like to see somebody wake the hell up and get excited about the fact that your country is under assault. They're not at the gate anymore. They're in your bedrooms.
What a lie, Ron.
I don't know. You remember we used to say they done took off their sheets.
You know what, Ron? If we can, I'd like to get John's perspective on
bring him in.
Can you bring John in?
Yeah, of course.
John, I know you and I, we talk 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 times a day. Just don't even go outside of the middle of the road. Just stay in the middle of the road. Don't go left and right. What is it that this guy has just forestated? Where's the lie?
He's not told one. He basically said what everybody's saying in their own private spaces.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the truth.
So Trill, since Michael Steele is a Republican, he was the chairman of the party, I think he ran for president, didn't he?
He might have had a run.
Well, he was a chairman at least. So
Yeah, he was the chairman. Yeah.
So John, why is it that we can't agree with a guy like Michael Steele or some other guy from across the street that's talking the same language that we're talking about privately every day? But what Steele is saying, stop being a hypocrite and talking about it private. Let me see you come on television and talk about it so your voice can be heard, so the people that you might influence that are saying this privately will come out public and say, talk to me, Trill.
See, I hear what you're saying. The bigger question for me is, it's actually in the question you just asked. What is it that's going on that you can't do that?
Please tell me. Please tell me.
That's the key. What is it? Because some of these people are separated, distant from the administration. So what do they have to lose? It's not like he's going to give them a job anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that they have to lose that they won't just put themselves out there on the side of right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you have two people that's out there. Trump chopped up the first person that did that, and I think it was Cheney's daughter. But you have to understand that at this point, you don't have nothing to lose. The man that's in office ain't for you. The man that's in office signing executive orders for people so he can just sign them, because most of this stuff is going to be kicked back. He knows that. But it's the optics of it that he's doing something. And that's something that I keep on saying it because it hurts me, man. Not to say I'm a part of the Democratic Party. But we got to stop repeating our mistakes. We got to do some good out there too. And I just don't see it. I don't even hear anybody criticizing this man other than talking about, well, it's unconstitutional. He can't do that. Yeah, we all know that, but what are y'all doing? Where's our people speaking up? He come on the air. It's a lot of Democrats that got the same air power that he does. They can go on there. They can come up and say the same thing. But I challenge him, Glass and John. I haven't seen it.
But Ron, I heard some commentator today, I think it was on MSNBC. Now, we know the difference between shall and will. This commentator said that shall to this administration does not necessarily mean that it's definitive or it's definite. It don't mean that it's going to happen. Shall to me has always meant legally, you shall do this, and if you don't, there are repercussions. So all of these lawyers that's been through all these administrations, John, all of a sudden, what's been written in the laws, in the books, in the regulations, it's like it don't mean nothing now. So how does this one dark horse come in and just change the entire trajectory? It's like everything is out the window, man.
Here's another thing. What's twisted is some of the same things that they are now doing are what they accuse the other administration of doing and getting away with. They were trying to beat them up for doing the exact same thing. Now, there's nothing illegal about it now.
You know, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be quick, class. I know that this is gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna get here. You know, Elon Musk is digging into the records of our government. He's digging into the records of our governments. He's cleaning our dirty laundry, so to speak. I'm not saying that he has the right to do it, but some of that stuff that's coming out, I want to know where them dollars going to too, because when it comes time for me to pay my taxes, I've been paying them for a long time.
But Ron, let me just interject right there. I was explaining this to a guy today. It does not matter. Here's how it works. If the DEMS are doing something to help their constituency, they're gonna have to affect the rich man. If the rich man is doing something for his side, it's gonna affect. So it's not about wasteful spending. Everybody is doing the same thing, just in a different manner. We're going to get screwed no matter what. I don't have an issue with my side being in office, whatever side it is, and they're doing for their constituency. I don't have a problem when Republicans are in office doing what it is that they're doing for their constituency. What I dislike is that you're putting your foot around the neck of other people so they can't thrive, while you continue to escalate and go up the ladder. So I look at that a little different, not disagreeing with what you're saying. I just wanted to add another perspective there, because of course, I respect where you're coming from. So it's no debate at all. I just want to interject. Sorry for that.
It's not a debate, class. I know that we may see things a little bit different, but I remember a while back, I don't care who's in office. I don't care if it's Democrat or Republicans. Mm-hmm. We need to get control of our spending, or else we're not going to exist.
But John, Ron, they're saying that they want to get rid of spending, but they want to raise the debt ceiling.
There you go.
So if you want to get rid of spending, why are you raising the debt ceiling? So you can give these tax breaks and these tax credits to the rich while you robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And can I just say, if you look at everything that they found fraud and abuse and waste in,
they haven't.
It is more of a social issue, something that will help the general public. It's nothing that's going to hurt a business. Not directly. Not when I talk about a business, I mean multinational conglomerations, billionaires like SpaceX, Tesla, Meta. It's not going to do damage to them, the stuff that they're finding. Mm-hmm. It's not. And another thing about what they quote say they're finding, we have a department in the government that kind of does that, called the GAO, Governmental Accounting Office. Mm-hmm. That's their job. But who do they report to? They report those findings to Congress, who has the ability of where the money goes and how it's spent, how it's doled out. This is on Congress about this wasteful spending. Mm-hmm. Like Glass says, hey, if I'm over here and my constituents have put me here and they have a pet project, I got this pet project in my district, I need that money to go there. See, it doesn't matter to me who's in power. If you want to get this budget passed or you want something done, I got this pet project. It's got to go. It's got to be in there. And what I don't like now is that all of this money that they say they're saving, I've seen a lot of people on social media post, oh, they're getting us our money and they're going to save us our money. No, they're basically penciling money. So when they try to roll this tax cut through, oh yeah, that's the money that we're using. Mm-hmm. That's where the money's going to come from. Mm-hmm. And it won't. Like Glass said, All they're doing is raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
With that, that's where it's. And you're not. I actually saw Trump tonight at some rally or something. Said he's going to give 20% of this money that they find to pay off some of the debt, and 20% for the American people. 20% of it is going to go to us. Wait on it. And
Feel
you know
good.
what's sad? People like us are going to see it as, I got me another STEM bill, another STEM check. See, then they'll think that and they won't get it, but that's how they think it. Sad to say, but that's true.
I'm not going to disagree with you, John. I just got one question. What was the name of the office that you say report to Congress?
Government Accounting Office, GAO.
The GAO.
They're the watchdog of basically how money's spent.
Okay. Well, John, I'm going to tell you, the GAO is something I just found out about on this airway. And so how many Americans you think out there know about the GAO and never heard of it? You know why?
That's the problem.
You know why? Because Congress is able to sweep it up under the rug and get it over. And when they say something, they can go out there and govern who's saying it. And that's what the American. If you want to take just that statement that you just made, John, he's putting on a dog and pony show. But that's what he's doing to show the American public that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We're tired of what's going on behind closed doors. Bring it up to the front and say what you're going to do. And that little organization, if it's been there for all these years and I ain't never heard about it,
it's there.
That's what the American people are saying. Stop doing stuff behind closed doors. Now, if you're talking about aliens and the world ending tomorrow, take that kind of stuff behind closed doors. We may not want to hear it, but how the tax dollars and everything else is being spent, we want to hear that.
Hey, Ron. I would agree with you 100% if this was done bipartisan. Here's why. If I was on the Democratic side, I'm going to do everything that's favorable, and I'm going to let you see what I want you to see. Don't you think what they're doing now, they're going to allow you to see whatever it is that they want to see, so you're still not getting the true, authentic information. So I agree that any wasteful spending, put bipartisan people that's there. Let's let them exercise some leadership skills and bring it to the public. And then we have a balance of what's right versus what's wrong. But no matter who's in there, party-wise, they're going to always do what's beneficial and advantageous to them. So if Musk is doing what he's doing, which you can look at the guy and tell that he's a crook. You can listen to him. You can look at his background. You can look at his history. There's nothing good about this guy. Everything that he's doing it strictly to benefit himself. That's what the rich man does. Not all of them, but the vast majority run because they want to get richer. They don't want to get poor. So if Musk really wanted to do a lot of these things, well, let me even back up. We talked about Barack being a foreigner. This man born in America. But now we got a real foreigner that's in it. Ain't nobody saying a damn thing about it, man.
Nothing.
That's my problem.
I can't disagree with anything that you say, but I will say I will agree with you on this. We have to be unbiased in bringing this information forward.
Bipartisan,
bipartisan and bringing this information forward. If you're gonna create that community, you should be half and half across the board. And you can't put a stranglehold on them and tell them that you can't say nothing to the media unless it comes through us. Because then what you're doing is you taking away their power.
And Ron, while it's on my mind, remember when they started the J6 committee, Pelosi and those guys, they wanted to put more Republicans on there, but guess what happened? They refused to get on there because they knew what the facts were. They knew what the truth was. So the only two that had the guts to do it was Adam
Kinzinger.
Yeah, and what is her name? Liz
Cheney, correct.
It's a setup, man. Politics is you do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you control the outcome. Until we get people that's got a backbone, that's not afraid to get in and do what they were elected to do, we're going to always get these crooks.
Ain't that the same thing that Michael Steele is saying right now?
That's exactly. Roll a little more of it, Ron.
I sure am.
They're in your living rooms. They're in your businesses. They got your data, dumbass. They got all your stuff. Elon Musk has.
I'm gonna let each one of us have a comment on that. He said, "You dumbass, you dumbass." He talking about us.
Yeah. Oh,
They got your data.
I have no
Elon has
problem.
Elon has information on you that you just wouldn't believe. If you wrote your name on, if you got on the internet at any time in any place in your life, Elon has access to it. Those big corporations out there, they got access to your social security number, everything that they say that they're not sharing. So I'm gonna let each one of y'all make a comment, and then we're gonna move on.
Well, I'm going to speak to the who has your information. I have a degree in information technology. And in getting that degree, I won't even say what year it was, but there was this known, I would say, machine. Let's just say machine. It was given the name Goliath back in the day. Goliath was nothing but a database of every soul that has a social security number in this country. If you have gone to a doctor, paid a bill, bought something on a credit card, you're in it. So they already have our stuff. Now, whoever this entity was, they generally worked with the government, and they were literally forced to do it, to work with the government, the FBI and other groups, to get that information. They fought it. They fought had court orders to try to fight it, but the government won to get access to it. That was what put a bad taste in my mouth in the field of IT, because I didn't think much of it until when I was working in the business world. Companies, our company president and CEO decided, I need to know what everybody at my company does at work, is seeing, who they're texting, who they're calling. Guess who that was on? Me. Buy the appliance, set it up without their knowledge, and get it done. Give him a report every week. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't take it anymore. Exactly.
Hey, John, I'm Glass doing exactly what I was getting ready to do too.
So the minute we started getting these digital
no.
boxes,
I'm saying all that information is right here.
yeah.
Glass, I'm wearing a watch, and I'm saying the same thing, because I
That's
got
for
a
the seeking
telephone
truth.
number to my watch. I got my pulse rate and everything. So if they're gonna kill somebody, they can shock me through this watch and get me out of the way.
My problem about I agree with the dumbass thing. We are to a degree, but it's the people that don't think that those people who have that information they believe that those people have their best interest, like Elon has their best interest in mind while he's got it. He doesn't. Like Glass say, he's using it to benefit him. Point, pure and simple.
But America has always been against foreigners. All of a sudden, we on this guy's job.
One thing, the richest man in the world. See, they have no problem with him being a foreigner when he's the richest man in the world.
No, they don't. They don't. If you go back 10 years, John, who was the richest man in the world, and who was everybody looking up to?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Right.
You know why? Technology hasn't advanced as far as it has so far. But now it's an advance past Bill Gates. You don't even hear about Bill Gates.
Because he owned the technology then. You couldn't get on the web without one of his boxes.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And he's developed a hate, they've come up with these conspiracies about him, but that's a whole different planet. But
a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, Glass, we're going to move a little bit further in this.
Okay.
Has the tentacles in everything you're doing, not just off of X, but now he's in the Treasury Department. He's in the Labor Department. He's in the Department of Homeland Security. And nobody seems to give a damn. So that's all I want, somebody to show that they care enough to get off their fat ass and say something about it.
Where is the lie? Well, now, he told you everywhere this guy's at. So everywhere he said this guy's at, it should affect somebody, John, in some kind of way or fashion. If you sit idle and do nothing, then even if you pick up the phone and try to call your congressman, your senator, even if you get involved in, some type of election, to get rid of what you, man, I don't see nothing wrong with his commentary. Again, whether he's a Republican, whether he's from Lit Rabbit, Australia, I agree with him 100%.
The audience. That's the thing here. The audience. Who's his audience? Because if they are right leaning, part of what he's saying, they already know, they already believe it, but they believe it on their behalf. It's a good thing that they're doing that because they're finding fraud and waste. How can that be bad for us as Americans? That's the way they see it. I personally see it as, hey man, that dude, Elon, has no business getting access to what I can't get access to on any given day. Even if I did a FOIA, I couldn't get access to it.
John, let me ask you this question. Elon Musk, according to what we're saying, the richest man in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you let him come in your house and do what he's doing in D.C.?
No.
So why in the hell should it matter if it's in Washington? My point is, we've always been against foreigners, okay, according to what the documents say. When in fact, it's been some foreigners who built up what we now see in many of these areas. My point is that Musk is there for a reason. And if you don't pay attention to the dark horse, night will fall and it'll be too late.
So they're just gonna roll that Trojan horse in there when he gets ready to leave. When Trump is out of office in 4 years, who's gonna have all our information?
The damage is done.
Oh, it's done. That's already locked in.
Well, I'm just saying, who's gonna have our information?
Anybody
somebody in space.
Anybody that wants to, with the highest bidder. But it just our information right now is for sale.
Right.
It is. The dark web. That's part of what's already doing this. But they do it. It's on a strictly basis to make money in a criminal enterprise. I get that. I'm not. I hate it, but it's there.
Let me break it down so they can understand, John, because you're going over their head.
Well,
when you're getting these calls from from all of these companies, and you watching TV, and these old ladies being taken for thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, John is trying to tell you your information is out there. That's how they're able to get your information and call you repeatedly till they get somebody online and somebody fills their calls, and then you donate all of your money or you can put all your effort in there, and now you go into the media to try to get it back. Well, it's been switched from this country to another country and 2 or 3 accounts, and our government can't trace the money, so you're not gonna get it back. You think that what he's doing doesn't affect you? Oh, I'm just a little peon over here. I ain't got nothing. Wait till you get to your retirement and you find out your retirement account has been zeroed out. It was zeroed out by a basic telephone call to you. They got just a little bit more information to get the information to go where they need to go. I just had to break it down like that, John. If I'm wrong, help me.
No, you're right.
Hey, Ron. Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say you're a young person, and you got a mom, grandparents, older sisters. Even if it's not affecting you directly, it's affecting you indirectly because grandma might be getting Social Security, sister might be getting Social Security, grandfather might be getting Social Security, or some other type of supplemental benefits that they may no longer have access to. So the point is this, John, I think you would agree. Even if it's not affecting you directly, at some point it's going to affect you. It's kind of like this. Crime. If crime is on the south side of town and it's 10 houses there, and they've broken into number 9 and they're headed toward number 10, after they get to number 10, where do you think they're going? To the other side of town. So my analogy is this: no matter where it's at, eventually it's going to end up affecting you. With regards to what's going on, kids, younger. Well, I was looking up today. You got baby boomers, you got millennials, you got baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Zs,
Mhm.
Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. You know, all of these people are in these categories, Ron. It's affecting every living soul that's out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, many people that probably could be listening or should be listening is going through death ear. But when it happens, it's too late. And John, relative to some check that's being given to you, the check don't last you long when gas prices are up, when eggs costing 50 times more than what they used to cost, when you
Yeah.
can't go buy a loaf of bread, when you can't go grocery shopping, when $100 will only buy you a couple of pieces of meat and some bread and some water. You still at the same place. It's the illusion that politics give you, and we don't look outside of the illusion. We got to start looking at facts.
I'll tell you, I want to
Agreed.
give two pieces of advice before John comes in.
Oh no.
Go look at the movie The Beekeeper.
Yes, I was thinking about that exact movie.
Go look at the movie The Beekeeper and tell me who that young man represented, the one that they drove off the bridge with.
He's an Elon Musk guy.
So I just need you to go look at The Beekeeper, and then I'm going to give you some more homework. Go to YouTube. Look at a country that's to our south, right off the coast of Florida. Look at Cuba. And I want you to look at, if you go through a video where these people are traveling over there and you see anybody overweight, let me know. Let me know. Because when you look back, when you reflect back at America, you understand that we're fighting for something here. But you need to go out there. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Go out there and put in YouTube Cuba and just walk around with them. They're gonna keep you for about an hour walking around and showing you things. But within that hour, you're gonna see so much stuff that you wouldn't. Oh man, they ain't got to go through that. And that's not the worst country, but that's the closest country that I could think of that's close to America. John, I yield.
And you would actually think you've gone back in time if you see the vehicles that they're driving.
That was the good old times, wasn't it? That's when Americans was going.
1950s
Americans was going down there just taking over. And John, I yield.
No, you know, you're talking about the thing about Cuba. If you look at the vehicles they drive, they're still driving 1950 and 60 cars.
Really?
And they don't have a problem with it. They're fine. In a sense, but I don't know, guys. It's the scary thing, and I keep saying it's scary. I don't understand. It's almost like that movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where we're awake and everybody else is in that sleep state, and we're trying to shake them loose, because if they go to sleep and then they wake up, they're going to be what they are, what the Trumpers are, and Republicans or Retrumplicans, whatever they've been called. That's what you end up with. And I just won't go to sleep. The worst thing for me for this whole when this whole election cycle was how the people on the right were just beating up this phrase about, it's the woke left, the woke. I could almost throw up on it. It was just that bad. It's like y'all are using and they know it. So, and some of them knew it. They were using the phrase woke incorrectly.
Because they know that they had too many still sleep.
That's it.
And when you woke, that means that you are informed. When you woke, that means that the next man can't just come and tell you something that it's pissing outside and it's really raining. When you woke, that means that you can challenge somebody else on issues that you deeply rooted in and you believe in. When you woke, that means that you stand for something and you can't just be told anything. When you woke, you know bullshit when it's being told to you. When you woke, you know that what's in Washington, D.C. now has no benefit for you and your family. That's
and
what
as
woke
black
is.
men, being woke in the civil rights early, it kept us alive.
Exactly.
Being woke. That's when I hear it, that's just like, stay woke, man. You going through, you're traveling, but stay woke.
So what both of you guys are saying, and I'm gonna break it down for the layman. If you walk in your yard and you got one of them corner lots, and you put your foot in some shit, and you get in your car, what is it gonna smell like?
SHIT.
Crap.
That's exactly the message that they're delivering to us right now.
But Ron, if we know that, I'm still trying to figure out, why is the opposition side still reluctant to have somebody out there in the forefront dissecting everything that's being said. You know this yourself. If you repeat something long enough and frequent enough, it becomes the reality that you want it to be.
Why? Hey. Let me just say this, John, and I'm gonna yield.
No.
I guarantee you, in about 2 weeks, you ain't gonna know that this man said this on the airways.
No.
They don't know it now.
They don't know it now.
And that's the problem, Ron.
Mm-hmm. I watched him live say that.
Yeah.
I watched him live.
Ron, it just so happened that, excuse me, John, that the conscious and the woke are the ones that actually know this. So you still have a multitude of people that sleepwalking, have no desire to get involved until it's too late. Because when you used to be able to do this and you can no longer do it, then what we want to do is scream and holler Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, then go to church Sunday, and then Monday we back to square one again.
So we getting our feelings on. We emptying out our pocketbooks. We done paid for the show. Now Monday we go back to work and we complain.
But your kid going to school with no book bag. Your kid
but
going
he got Nikes on.
Exactly. He got a cell phone. He got an iPhone. Mama got a Louis Vuitton bag.
Getting out of Mercedes Benz. Hey, Rolls Royce, driving them to the front of the school.
And here's the deal on that. If that's the life they want to live, I have no issue with that. I have none whatsoever. But when I choose to live the one that I want to live and do the things that I want to do, which is stay woke, stay consciously involved, informed and enlightened, then don't come and tell me, well, you get the point.
I get the point, and here's what I'll say. I don't smoke cigars. I don't drink like I used to. But because you see me out there drinking, or with a cigar in my mouth, don't think that I didn't change that. I didn't change. Don't think that I can't for that one moment take myself out of my position because I just wanted to try something. You got to be able to allow somebody to try something, to do something, and you can't hold them accountable because that's on you. You're the one with the problem. I don't have one because I did it. I went through it. I sit there. I was socializing with some of my friends, and I'm good. But you take that and you pull out your little video camera, take that and say, oh, he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. I got him on tape. Man, for that time that you spent there, you could have went made some money or something. These kids out here making money and they out here pulling up their dresses and pulling down their pants, and they out here making money, and we still sitting there supporting them. It was something else I want to say, John. Then I know I get long-winded. I got you, John.
No, Ron, the hypocrite angle. Tell me, and this is something that's fascinated me, watching the Standard and or the whatever local, what they call media. Why is it that if someone, and I hate to go party on the left or Democrat, when they make a point, they are hypocritical if one instance of something like what you said goes against the norm of what they've always said that they are. They are hypocritical. And from that point, you can never say anything to anybody on the right about anything about them being hypocritical. Worse than the media doing it, real people in the real world take that same stance. It's like, oh no, I could never vote for Kamala because look what she did when she was, the prosecuting or DA or whatever in California. You're going to take that one little shred of instance in her life, early in her political career, and let that sabotage her for the betterment of the country.
But Johnny Joham can do any and everything that he want to do. But
grab him by the
pea. Time, he can bring you some peas and cornbread, some okra and some tomatoes, and you forgive him.
Good deal. That's
Here's the other deal, guys. You go to work one day. You're sitting in your car. You let your kids use your car the day before. What's a certain smell in the car? So you go to pick up somebody. Instead of them asking you, where that smell came from or what's going on, so you could explain yourself or explain that you only had one car but you let your kid drive it and he used it for that. You go back and you sit around the table talking about what I've been doing. You know, I got in a car this morning and you riding with me. I ain't charging you nothing to ride with me, but you go to the table, the lunch table, and you sit around talking about what you smelled in my car this morning. Next thing you know, around work, I'm a dope head. I got a problem, but I was trying to give you a ride and bring you to work. But my son had used my car, my daughter had used my car before. I didn't try to alienate you and not take you to work. I still went by and picked you up. But you didn't have the decency to ask me what was going on. Hey, is it something I should be knowing about? That's the way we do. That's the way we do our people. That's the way we treat each other. It's more important to you for you, instead of getting a good understanding where you at. It's more important to you for you to run and tell. Run and tell. Run and tell.
Taking that a step further, who's to say that they may not reach out to somebody in law enforcement and you just happen to get pulled over?
Good point.
Hey, Ron, we are looking at about 9:36 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know, we got.
I thought John was sending a message right there. I thought John was doing this for a message.
I can't help it with my hands. I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you.
Hey, Trill, we concluded that from the outset that we were going to try to, test it for about 30 minutes, at which I already know that that's a lie, because you cannot contain when stuff is the way that it should be. Again, the number one goal is to enlighten and inform. Okay, and it does not mean that when we're trying to enlighten and inform that we're getting it right 100% of the time. But what we do know is that we're not getting it wrong 100% of the time. The courage to talk about these topics, the courage to invite other individuals on, the courage to challenge any particular side of the party, any individual that's within that party. That's the goal, which is to bring something out that probably was never out, because again, mainstream media does not contest the individuals when they own doing the interviews or whatever the case may be. So Ron, we're looking at about 9:35 p.m. Central Standard Time for all those who are out there listening. Hey, look, we appreciate all of that. This is one of those impromptu shows, and live show. Each and every scheduled program is Tuesday nights at 7:30, hosted by myself, Ron, A.F. Briggins, and Mr. Tribble, who dips in whenever he can, and we appreciate that. We got some other listeners out there. We want to say thank you for listening in. And again, remember, we're not saying that we're getting it right. We're not saying that we are 100% accurate, but what we are saying is that we are trying. So give us an A for effort. Give us an A for trying, and give us an A for having the courage and the wisdom and desire to at least bring something informative to you, rather than some of that other stuff, John, that we often talk about. Some of that other stuff that we see on TV. We're not only arguing about who's got the best Air Jordan. We're not only talking about who's the best between LeBron James and Michael Jordan. We're not only talking about Drake and Kendrick, they argue. We're talking about the substance. So we're at least trying to put out a positive message. So when you wake up in the morning and you try to listen to something that's informative, give us a try, give us a shot, give us the opportunity to be heard, and allow yourself to be heard, because if you want to come on, we will allow you to do that. Ron, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to give it to you. I'm done.
I just want to say this. Earlier I made this show, and it was supposed to be Michael Steele speaking when you heard the silence. But I still got people come back and texting me in the background, Ron, that was good, that was good. But I'm glad we was able to correct it. And here's the deal with this show. We may not go down your road today, but we're going to get there eventually. John is an example of what we have the ability to do as a whole, because John said he works in IT. See, me and Glass don't work in IT. When I'm behind the scenes putting this stuff together, I'm scratching my head and bumping it up against the wall. I'm begging for help, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got. John, tonight we're gonna let you close it out glass before. Don't even give it back to me. Let John say something and then push that button up. If John don't have nothing to say, just push the button. We out of here.
Trip, this is going to be your opportunity. Close it out in whatever way you want to. Again, we try to give everybody an opportunity to be a participant on this particular format. So it's on you, JT.
Guys, I'm just going to say I appreciate an avenue to even just be able to express a lot of what I've wanted to say when I'm sitting here looking at the TV, yelling at it. Nobody can hear me. That's all I mean, I appreciate it. And this is worth your own peace of mind. And if you get anybody else to open their eyes and get woke, fine, I'm perfect with it. That's why. So from there, man, y'all close it out.
You've been listening to Two Gents live on Tuesday, Wednesday night, January, what is it, 19th, 20th? I got so much going on, I don't even know, but I think it's the 19th, Wednesday, February the 19th, sorry, on the serious note. John, thank you.
Glass,
Ron,
I'll be remiss if I don't do this. Tune in tomorrow for Positively D.
Tell us about our show, Ron.
I'm going to tell you, D has a story to tell to everybody. And with what's going on in the world today, we have to educate our kids, too, about HIV and STDs because it's taking over. D has been doing this for years. She's an activist out there. And a lot of the activists that's out there tomorrow may not like what she's going to say. But it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Misappropriation of funds. Pay attention tomorrow. She's already got the show out there, publicized. If you don't have to have HIV to listen in, but you need to have a sense of awareness so you can explain it to your kids. Glass is on you. I didn't want to leave without saying that.
We can't be swinging, but John and anybody out there listen, several years ago, 10, 12 years ago when we first started this, we went from one thing to the other. Then we ended up having Blog Talk USA. Ron had 7 nights of informative shows, just like Sirius XM. And I mean solid shows. We had the mayor, had doctors, from all over. We had special guests. Every show featured something that was relatable with regards to America in the country and the individuals in your community. So I'm saying all that to say we're starting young right now again with 1 or 2 shows. But you can rest assured before too long, it's going to be 7 nights of solid programs. So if you don't like Two Gents, you're going to have something else to listen to. I'm going to leave it on that note, Ron. Good night, good night, good night. May the good Lord bless you. 9:47 p.m. Central Standard Time. We out.